Humanity's battle fleet entered the war zone and wiped the enemy from existence immediately. The galaxy was quiet for a moment, but only because a storm was coming. Systems that had once been safe were now burning. Planets that had lived in peace for centuries were now dark, silent, or full of fleeing people. Alien ships moved like shadows, and wherever they went, destruction followed. No one could stop them. On a small observation station orbiting a blue planet in the Sol system, humans watched quietly. The station was simple, with metal walls, small lights, and consoles filled with glowing screens. John Carter, the commander of the human battle fleet, leaned over a screen showing the movement of the enemy armada. He rubbed his face and shook his head. "They're fast," said Lisa Grant, a young fleet analyst, her voice calm but serious. She pointed to a cluster of red dots on the screen. "This group has destroyed 3 systems in the last 24 hours. Their numbers grow every day. If no one stops them soon, half the galaxy will be gone in a month." John didn't say anything. He didn't need to. He already knew. Humans had watched from the edges of the war for months. Other species called them small, weak, unprepared. Some even laughed at the humans' old ships and slow technology. John remembered council meetings where leaders of alien species mocked him. Human ships. Those tiny things. You're going to watch them fall first, and then maybe the humans will finally realize how small they are, one alien delegate had said. The memory made John smile, just a little. He trusted his fleet more than anyone else trusted humanity. The humans' fleet was not large. It had only 20 ships, and most were old designs that other species considered obsolete. But John had spent years training with these ships, studying every possible way they could fight. Every officer on his team knew him, and he knew them. Trust ran deeper than technology. He knew that even if they were small in number, humans could be deadly. On the observation station, the screens showed chaos. Red and orange flashes marked destroyed worlds. Green dots, representing Allied ships, were running and hiding. Every day, the human sensors collected more data about the enemy. They knew their speed, their weapons, their habits. They learned every weakness. "John," Lisa said, breaking the silence, "we need to decide. Do we intervene now or wait until they reach the outer systems?" "Waiting will cost lives." John looked at the screen. The enemy was powerful, yes, but predictable. Humans had always been able to adapt, and now, with this information, they had a chance to stop them. "We act now," he said simply. His voice was calm but firm. Lisa nodded. She had expected this. John's decisions were always fast, clear, and precise. Waiting would only give the enemy more time to destroy innocent worlds. Far from the observation station, alien commanders noticed something strange. Human ships were moving, but they were not reacting like the others. They did not form defensive lines or retreat. They were heading straight toward the center of the war zone. The aliens exchanged confused signals. "Why would humans go there?" asked one alien captain. His eyes were wide behind his helmet. "They have no chance. It is madness." Another alien replied, "Maybe they do not understand. Maybe they are slow, weak. Let them enter and we will crush them. It will be easy." They did not know that humans had spent years preparing for this moment. Every calculation, every strategy, every ship was ready. John's fleet had trained for scenarios just like this, and the humans were patient. They waited for the right moment. As the human ships approached, John gave small, simple orders. He did not shout. He did not panic. "Engage sensors fully, prepare weapons, maintain formation." The officers responded quickly. The ship crews moved with practiced efficiency. Every person knew their role. Lisa watched the screens, her fingers moving over the controls. "The enemy won't know what hit them," she said quietly. There was pride in her voice, but no fear. Humans had faced worse threats before, and they had survived. They were not reckless. They were prepared. John remembered the first council meeting where aliens had mocked humanity. They had called humans slow, weak, and outdated. John had kept his calm. He had learned the enemy's habits, studied the past wars, and trained his people to move faster than anyone expected. Now the time for words was over. Actions would speak. The first human ships entered the war zone. The enemy was already fighting, their ships everywhere, firing constantly, trying to destroy everything. Flashes of light streaked across space. Explosions lit up the darkness. The aliens were confident. They believed their weapons and numbers would overwhelm any human threat. But humans did not act like the others. They did not move in predictable lines or attack slowly. They were precise, fast, and coordinated. John's ships used maneuvers that the aliens had never seen. They changed speed, angle, and position in seconds, dodging attacks easily. Their weapons targeted weak points, hitting the enemy in ways that caused massive damage instantly. "Look at that," Lisa said, amazed. "They can't even hit us. Every shot misses." The enemy tried to respond, but the humans adapted faster than they could fire. John's training and preparation made the human fleet almost invisible. Every move was calculated to maximize efficiency and minimize risk. On the alien side, panic started to spread. Commanders shouted orders, but human ships were already in positions that made escape impossible. The aliens' strongest weapons failed to hit them. Their numbers were useless because humans attacked precisely and intelligently. John watched the screens and felt no fear. He felt calm satisfaction. This was exactly what he had trained for. The humans' fleet was small, but it moved like a single mind. Every crew member knew what the others would do without speaking. They were a unit. They were unstoppable. "Fire pattern Delta," John said. It was a simple command, but it caused massive damage. Human ships targeted the main enemy line. Explosions erupted in space. Ships that had seemed invincible moments before were gone in seconds. The aliens could not believe what they saw. Their sensors showed destruction beyond anything they had imagined. "We are losing them too fast," one alien commander shouted. "What is happening? They should be weak. They should be slow." "It is impossible," another replied. "Humans are not supposed to fight like this. We cannot understand them." John ignored them. He focused on his fleet, making small adjustments, moving them in perfect coordination. Lisa reported every detail. Every weak point, every chance to strike, every ship that needed attention. The humans worked together without mistakes, without hesitation. In the middle of the chaos, Emma Brooks, in charge of electronic warfare, activated her systems. She did not need to shout. The systems silently infiltrated enemy networks. Enemy ships stopped responding to their own commands. Weapons failed. Shields dropped. Every advantage the aliens had was gone. John smiled slightly. Humans had never needed large numbers to succeed. They had intelligence, coordination, and courage. They had patience and skill. They had waited for the right moment, and now it had come. The enemy tried to regroup, but it was too late. Their largest ships were already destroyed. Smaller ships had no hope. They tried to escape, but the humans had predicted every route. They cut off all exits. No matter what the aliens did, the humans were always ahead. "Look at their fleet," Lisa said softly. "They can't run. They can't fight back. Everything is collapsing." John's fleet continued moving, precise and unstoppable. They destroyed enemy ships one by one, faster than anyone could comprehend. The aliens' confidence turned into panic. Their numbers, their firepower, and their technology could not save them. John thought about the worlds that had been destroyed before humans entered the war zone. Innocent lives lost because others could not act. He felt no joy in victory, only determination. Humans fought to protect, not to dominate. But now, they had no choice. The enemy had to be stopped completely, immediately. Far across the galaxy, other species watched the battle through their own sensors. They could not believe what they saw. Small human ships were wiping out massive fleets without losing a single ship themselves. Whispers of fear began to spread. No one had ever seen humans fight like this before. On the human observation station, the command console beeped. John glanced at the screen. "They are surrendering," Lisa said. "Or they are trying to hide, but they have nowhere left to run." John nodded. He knew this was only the beginning. The humans had made the first move, and it had been perfect. They had entered the war zone when no one expected them to. They had acted when the galaxy assumed they were weak. Now every enemy ship that remained would think twice before attacking again. The humans had shown what they were capable of. They had entered the war zone and everything changed. The enemy had not understood them, had not prepared for them, and had not survived their precision. Humans were not slow, humans were not weak. Humans were deadly, and now the galaxy had learned it. John leaned back in his chair. The first part of the battle was over. He did not celebrate. He had more work to do. The war was far from finished, but the humans had made their mark. Other species would talk about this day for generations. Humans had entered the war zone, and the enemy had fallen immediately. For the first time in months, John felt a small sense of hope. Maybe, just maybe, the galaxy could survive. The stars outside the observation station shone cold and silent. But inside, the humans were alive, ready and unstoppable. The human fleet moved deeper into the war zone. Explosions from the first strike still lit parts of space. Alien ships that had survived the first attack were scattered and confused. They tried to form groups, but humans were everywhere, moving fast, precise, and coordinated. John Carter watched the screens quietly. Every red dot representing an enemy ship moved exactly where he expected it to. Humans were not just reacting, they were controlling the battle. He gave small, calm orders to his officers. Adjust formation. Target the lead ship in the north cluster. Prepare backup fire for the south wing. Every officer understood immediately. No mistakes. Lisa Grant worked quickly beside him. Her hands moved over the console, tracking enemy ships, calculating paths, and predicting movements. "They are trying to escape," she said, her voice steady. "But all their exits are blocked. Humans have covered every possible route." "Good," John replied. He did not look away from the screens. The humans had learned that patience and planning were more powerful than brute strength. Now all the preparation was paying off. The alien fleet had never seen anything like this. On the other side, alien commanders panicked. "We cannot stop them," shouted one captain. "Our weapons fail. Our ships are falling." Another tried to organize a retreat, but human ships already predicted every escape route. Any movement the aliens made only led them into more fire. Emma Brooks, in her electronic warfare station, smiled quietly. She activated more systems, silently hacking the enemy's communications. The aliens' coordination failed. Ships fired at nothing, shields dropped at the wrong time, and critical systems failed. Humans were striking without being struck. John gave another command. "Fire pattern echo. Concentrate on the largest enemy group. Do not waste time on minor targets." Human ships moved as one. Weapons fired in perfect synchronization. Enemy ships exploded in rapid succession. The aliens' largest vessels, which had once seemed untouchable, were now destroyed in seconds. "They can't understand us," Lisa said. "Their sensors cannot predict our movements. Every attack we make is a surprise." She pointed to the screen. "Look, even their strongest ships are being destroyed without hitting us once. They cannot hit a single human ship." The alien commanders shouted orders that meant nothing. Their ships could not respond. The humans moved too fast, too accurately. Every strike found weak points, every maneuver countered the enemy's plans. Panic spread among the aliens. Even their bravest pilots froze, unsure what to do. John remembered all the training drills, the simulations, the countless hours studying enemy tactics. Humans had not entered this war zone blindly. Every move had been practiced, every scenario considered. The alien fleet had underestimated them, and now they were paying the price. Lisa and Emma coordinated closely. Lisa tracked the ships, while Emma disabled their systems. "We have full control," Emma said. "Their weapons are offline. They can't even coordinate a retreat." John nodded, satisfied. Humans had taken complete control of the battlefield. John's fleet was small compared to the alien armada, but size did not matter. Speed, precision, and intelligence mattered. The humans were not afraid of numbers. They had learned to adapt faster than any enemy could anticipate. Now it showed. Enemy ships were exploding at an astonishing rate. One alien commander, a veteran of many wars, screamed at his crew, "We are losing. We cannot fight them. Retreat." But it was too late. Human ships had already predicted this reaction. They cut off the escape routes. Every possible exit led to another strike. No ship could survive. John gave another calm order: target the remaining leaders. Finish the command ships first. The officers carried out the command instantly. Human ships moved with perfect timing, surrounding the enemy command center. Missiles and energy beams struck simultaneously. Explosions rocked space. The enemy leadership was gone. Without guidance, the remaining fleet fell apart. "They are surrendering," Lisa said quietly. She was amazed at how fast the battle had turned. In the time it would have taken others to organize an attack, humans had destroyed almost the entire enemy fleet. "Or they are trying to hide," she added, watching the screens closely. "But there is nowhere left to run." John's face remained calm. He had expected this. Humans had always studied their enemies in detail. They knew exactly how they would react, how they would move, and how they would fail. The battle had been planned down to the smallest detail, and now it was unfolding perfectly. Even the smallest human ships played a role. They dodged attacks, struck weak points, and relayed information. Every crew member understood their role. Every movement was coordinated. The alien fleet could not adapt to this. Their systems failed, their weapons failed, and their confidence disappeared. Far away, alien observers began to whisper in fear. "How can humans fight like this? Their ships are old, their numbers are small, yet they destroy fleets in moments. They are not like anyone we have seen before." Other aliens nodded silently. No one had an answer. Humanity had become a force no one could predict. Back in the human fleet, John's officers prepared for the final strikes. "Prepare the central group for a direct assault," he said. "We finish this now." The human ships moved as one, their formation perfect. The enemy could not stop them. Every strike hit its mark. Explosions lit up the war zone, more powerful than anything before. On the enemy side, confusion and fear reached a peak. Ships tried to retreat in all directions. Some fled into asteroid fields, hoping to hide, but human ships followed them with precision. Other ships tried to regroup, but it was impossible. The humans had predicted every move. The aliens' greatest weapons failed because humans had already calculated their weaknesses. Lisa spoke calmly. "Their largest ships are gone, minor vessels are scattered, they cannot regroup." She smiled slightly. "We are in control." John nodded. He was proud but not boastful. Humans had acted not out of pride but necessity. Countless worlds had already fallen. Innocent lives had been lost. Humans fought to stop the destruction, to protect the galaxy. They would not fail. As the battle continued, the alien fleet began to collapse completely. Ships exploded, retreated, or shut down. No leader remained. Without guidance, their forces were powerless. Human ships moved methodically, finishing each target efficiently. No time was wasted. Emma Brooks continued her work, keeping enemy systems offline. "They cannot fire or coordinate," she said. "We control everything." Her fingers moved over the console quickly. Each command disabled another enemy system. The aliens' panic grew worse. They could see destruction coming, but they could do nothing. John gave his final commands. "Finish off the command center remnants. Hold the rest in place. Do not lose a ship." The human fleet moved as one. Their speed and coordination made them almost invisible. Enemy ships exploded one by one. Panic turned to complete fear. No one dared act against the humans. Finally, the last alien ships fell apart. Some self-destructed. Some surrendered quietly, unsure if humans would show mercy. The war zone went silent except for the human fleet. The destruction had been swift, total, and absolute. Humans had acted where no one else could. They had finished what others could not. John leaned back, watching the screens. No human ship was lost. The enemy fleet was gone. His officers were calm, reporting every detail. Lisa and Emma exchanged quiet smiles. Humanity had proven itself in a way the galaxy would never forget. Outside the fleet, space was quiet again. Stars shone cold and distant. Planets that had been under threat now had a chance to survive. Humans had acted decisively, and the enemy had been wiped from existence in hours. John thought about the lives saved by this action. He thought about the species that had fled and the innocent worlds that could rebuild. Humans had entered the war zone and ended the battle almost immediately. The galaxy had witnessed something no one expected. Humans were small, but they were unstoppable. They were clever, fast, and precise. They had fought not for glory, but for survival and protection. The other species began to communicate quietly, sending messages of surprise, respect, and even fear. No one had expected humans to act so decisively. The small fleet had achieved what entire armadas of other species could not. Humans had not only survived, they had controlled the war zone completely. John turned to his officers. "Prepare for withdrawal," he said. "We have done what we came to do." "The galaxy will remember this day." The officers nodded, understanding the meaning. Humans had acted and the balance of power had shifted. The enemy was gone, and other species now saw humans in a new light. For the first time in months, John allowed himself a small smile. Humans had entered the war zone, fought perfectly, and ended the threat in a matter of hours. The galaxy had learned a lesson: never underestimate humanity. Even small, old, and seemingly weak ships could destroy fleets and change the course of a war. As human ships moved back toward the edge of the war zone, Lisa, Emma, and other officers watched the stars quietly. They had fought well. They had acted decisively. They had survived. Humans had proven their skill, intelligence, and courage. And somewhere in the silence of space, the galaxy whispered the name of the human fleet, knowing it was a force unlike any other. The war was far from over in the galaxy, but the first human strike had made one thing very clear. When humanity acted, no enemy could survive. The human fleet moved slowly away from the center of the war zone. Space was quiet now, but the silence was strange, almost heavy. Enemy ships had been destroyed or had surrendered, and the few survivors drifted in confusion. Alien commanders did not know what to do. They had never seen anything like humans before. John Carter watched the screens carefully. Even after the battle, he remained alert. The galaxy was unpredictable and humans had to be ready for any new threat. "Keep sensors active," he said calmly. "Track every movement. Nothing escapes our notice." Lisa Grant monitored the war zone, her eyes moving across multiple screens. "They are all hiding," she said. "Scattered survivors. Some small ships damaged, barely functional. They do not dare move." "Good," John replied. He knew that fear was now their strongest weapon. Humans did not need to destroy everything. The knowledge of human skill and strategy was enough to terrify. The aliens had underestimated humans, and now every move they made was cautious and weak. Far away in the councils of other alien species, whispers spread. "Humans, they act like no one else," said one leader. "Our fleets are large, powerful, yet they destroy a strong enemy in hours. How can small ships do that?" Another leader shook his head. "It is not just weapons. It is their coordination, their intelligence. They fight like a single mind. We cannot predict them." Back in the human fleet, John ordered small patrols to search the remaining war zone. The humans did not rush. They moved slowly, carefully, making sure no hidden threat remained. Every officer knew their role. Every crew member knew the plan. Coordination and intelligence were their strength. Emma Brooks monitored the alien communications. She continued her electronic warfare quietly, disabling remaining enemy systems. Even the survivors cannot talk to each other, she said. They are completely isolated. They are panicking, but they cannot regroup. John nodded. Humans had learned long ago that war was not just about destruction. It was about understanding the enemy, predicting movements, and controlling fear. The aliens' panic was as powerful as any weapon. Now the humans could act decisively without losing a single ship. Lisa pointed to a small cluster of enemy ships. These ones are trying to regroup near the asteroid field, she said. They are damaged, slow, but they are trying. Let them try, John replied. We will handle it carefully. No need to rush. The human ships moved in formation, surrounding the small cluster without entering too close. Every movement was precise. Every attack was calculated. The alien ships fired desperately, but their weapons were weak and inaccurate. Human ships dodged effortlessly. John gave calm orders. Target engines first, then weapons. Disable them completely. Missiles struck, engines exploded, and the enemy could not escape. One by one, the ships were neutralized. On the observation screens, Lisa and Emma watched quietly. No human ships were lost. Every strike was perfect. They cannot stop us, Lisa said softly. Every move we make works exactly as planned. John knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had learned to fear humans. Species that had ignored humanity now looked carefully at every movement, every fleet. Humans had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and left no survivors. The message was clear. Humans were precise, intelligent, and unstoppable when necessary. Far away, in the remnants of the enemy command structure, confusion reigned. Alien leaders could not believe what had happened. Fleets that had seemed invincible were gone in hours. Commanders argued with each other, blaming mistakes, blaming luck, but the truth was simple. Humans had acted perfectly. We underestimated them, one alien said, voice trembling. We should have prepared for humans, but we did not. We thought they were weak. We thought their ships were old. Now everything is gone. We cannot fight them again, another replied. They are too fast, too clever. We must hide or surrender. Back with the humans, John ordered surveys of the destroyed war zone. They scanned planets, debris, and signals. Collect data, he said. We need to know everything. Every weakness, every tactic, every weapon they used. Lisa and Emma worked quickly, recording all information. The humans had learned that knowledge was power. John turned to his officers. We will leave soon, but not yet. Make sure every possible threat is neutralized. Do not leave anything behind. The officers nodded. Every crew member understood the importance. Humans did not act recklessly. They acted with control and patience. The alien survivors hid in asteroid fields and behind debris. Some tried to communicate, hoping for help, but Emma's systems blocked all transmissions. The aliens were trapped. They could not see what humans were doing, could not understand their moves, and could not fight back effectively. Fear became their only ally, and even that failed. As the humans moved slowly, the galaxy watched silently. News spread quickly. Small human fleets had entered a war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and left almost no trace of destruction on themselves. Whispers of fear, respect, and surprise filled the stars. No one had ever seen humans act with such precision and control. John thought about the planets that had suffered before humans acted, worlds that had been destroyed unnecessarily. He felt no anger, only determination. Humans fought to protect life, not for conquest. But when humans acted, they acted completely. There was no half measure, no hesitation. Lisa monitored the final cluster of enemy ships. They are trying to escape through a small wormhole, she said. If they succeed, they might warn others. John did not panic. He gave calm orders. We block the exit. Do not let a single ship escape. Surround them slowly but completely. Make sure it is perfect. Human ships moved into position, cutting off every route. Missiles and beams struck, disabling engines, weapons, and systems. The enemy could not escape. One alien ship tried to fight back. It fired desperately, but John's fleet had predicted every move. It was destroyed before it could even reach a human ship. The last survivors trembled in silence. They could see humans surrounding them, precise, calm, and unstoppable. Emma Brooks reported quietly, "Their systems are offline. They cannot communicate. They cannot move. They are trapped completely." John nodded. The battle was over. Not a single human ship had been lost. The enemy fleet had been neutralized entirely. The humans had acted with precision, patience, and intelligence. The galaxy had learned something important. Humans were not just fighters, they were perfect strategists. The human fleet began to move back toward the safe zones. John gave orders for repairs, data collection, and analysis. Every officer understood the next steps. Humans did not celebrate loudly. They did not boast. They acted calmly, efficiently, and wisely. The galaxy would remember their actions. Alien species that had once mocked humans now watched carefully. Fleets that had ignored humanity now studied every movement. The humans had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and left without loss. Fear and respect spread quickly. Humans were no longer underestimated. John spoke quietly to his officers. "We have done what no one else could. We acted when others hesitated. The galaxy will remember this. Humans have shown that intelligence, coordination, and patience matter more than numbers or weapons." Lisa looked at him. "They will never forget it," she said. "Everywhere they see humans now, they will think twice." Emma added quietly, "And even if they try again, they will fail. We know them and they do not know us." John nodded. Humans had acted not out of pride, but out of necessity. The galaxy was dangerous, and many species had suffered because they acted too late or without coordination. Humans had learned from observation, preparation, and patience. Now they had acted, and the results were clear. The fleet continued moving. Small groups of enemy ships tried to escape, but humans had predicted every path. Every attack was effective, every maneuver precise. The remaining enemy was no threat. Space around the war zone was quiet except for human ships, calm and in control. John thought about the future. The galaxy was watching now. Humans had shown their strength, skill, and intelligence. Other species would act carefully, knowing the humans were precise and deadly when necessary. The balance of power had shifted. As the human fleet moved toward safety, the observation stations scanned for hidden threats. There were none. The galaxy was changing, slowly but surely. Humans had entered the war zone, acted perfectly, and demonstrated what they could do. Fear, respect, and awareness spread among the stars. John looked at the stars outside the fleet. Space was vast and cold, but humans had carved a path through it. They had shown that even a small fleet could change the course of war. Every officer understood the lesson. Preparation, intelligence, and coordination were more powerful than any number of ships. Lisa and Emma exchanged quiet smiles. They had seen the destruction, but also the efficiency and intelligence of their people. Humans had acted decisively, carefully, and perfectly. The galaxy had witnessed something no one had expected. John spoke one last time before the fleet moved out of the war zone. "Remember this. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence and precision. The galaxy will never underestimate us again." His officers nodded silently, understanding the truth of his words. The stars continued to shine coldly outside, but humans had changed the galaxy. They had entered the war zone, destroyed the enemy completely, and shown what could be done with skill, patience, and courage. The rest of the galaxy would never forget this day. And as the fleet moved toward the edge of the war zone, silence returned. The humans were alive, calm, and ready. The enemy was gone. The galaxy had learned the power of humanity. The human fleet moved slowly toward the safe zones near their home systems. The war zone behind them was quiet now, filled with the debris of enemy ships. Human ships had not been touched, not a single one lost. The aliens had been defeated, but the humans remained alert. The galaxy was unpredictable, and humans knew that victory could bring new challenges. John Carter watched the screens carefully. Reports from the observation stations were coming in constantly. The remaining enemy ships are isolated, Lisa Grant said, pointing to the screen. They are hiding in asteroid fields or damaged systems. They cannot fight back. Emma Brooks monitored communications. She had kept the enemy's sensors offline, and now they were silent. Even if they try to regroup, they cannot. Their systems are down. They have no idea where we are or what we will do next. John nodded. Humans had acted perfectly. The battle had been swift and precise, but now they had to manage the aftermath. The galaxy was watching, and humans needed to consolidate control, not rush or panic. Small alien fleets that had survived the battle began sending cautious messages. They were terrified of humans, but also curious. Some asked for negotiations, others begged for mercy. Humans did not respond immediately. They maintained a calm, controlled presence, showing their strength without unnecessary aggression. Lisa turned to John. They are contacting us. Some are surrendering, others are asking for safe passage. John considered carefully. Humans did not seek conquest. They fought to protect, to stop destruction, and to ensure survival. Accept those who surrender, he said calmly. But keep them under observation. Do not underestimate them. As human ships moved through the war zone, they encountered isolated alien commanders who had not surrendered. These ships tried to flee or hide, but human patrols had predicted their paths. Every move they made was intercepted. Humans disabled engines, weapons, and communication systems without unnecessary destruction. The aliens could not escape or resist. Emma worked quietly in her station, keeping enemy systems offline. They cannot fire or communicate, she said. We have total control of the remaining fleet. John smiled slightly. Humans had learned that controlling the battlefield was more important than destroying everything. Fear, caution, and intelligence were powerful tools. The remaining aliens would think twice before acting aggressively again. Far from the war zone, alien species watched and whispered in fear. Humans are not just fighters, one leader said. They are perfect strategists. Their coordination is unlike anything we have seen. They destroyed a powerful enemy in hours without losing a single ship. Another leader nodded. We cannot underestimate them. Their intelligence and patience are as deadly as any weapon. We must adjust our plans. Back with the human fleet, John ordered small patrols to secure key systems. They scanned planets, moons, and debris for hidden threats. Every move was careful, controlled, and precise. Humans did not act recklessly. They acted with intelligence. Lisa reported quietly. Some alien survivors are attempting to flee to other systems. They have no chance. Every path is covered. John gave calm instructions. Block all escape routes. Monitor but do not destroy unnecessarily. We act as protectors, not conquerors. Human ships moved slowly, surrounding the remaining alien ships without alarming them. The humans' calm efficiency spread fear without unnecessary destruction. The surviving aliens tried to communicate secretly, but Emma's systems blocked them. They are trapped completely, she said. They have no way to warn others. John watched quietly. Humans had acted decisively, and now they maintained control. Fear and respect spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had once mocked humanity now studied their every move carefully. Humans had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and showed the galaxy what they could do. Small alien ships that tried to fight were quickly neutralized. John gave calm orders. Disable engines first, then weapons. Avoid unnecessary destruction. We want control, not chaos. The human ships moved precisely, striking only what was necessary. The aliens could not resist or escape. Lisa monitored the remaining enemies. They are all contained now, she said. The galaxy has seen the human fleet in action. Fear is spreading. John nodded. Humans had achieved something no one expected. They had acted decisively, controlled the battlefield, and now the remaining aliens were isolated and cautious. The humans had shown that intelligence, coordination, and patience mattered more than numbers or weapons. Far from the battlefield, alien leaders debated. "We cannot challenge humans directly," one said. "They act with precision, they predict every move, and their coordination is perfect. Any attack will fail." Another added, "We must respect them. We must adjust our plans and think carefully. Humans are not like other species." Back with the humans, John ordered patrols to maintain presence while data collection continued. "Scan everything," he said. "Record every weakness, every tactic, every weapon. Knowledge is power. We have learned a great deal, but there is more to know." Emma continued to monitor enemy systems, keeping them offline. They cannot regroup. They cannot coordinate. They are completely isolated. John spoke quietly to his officers. "Humans have shown the galaxy that we act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, patience, and precision. This is the lesson other species must learn." Lisa and Emma nodded. Humans had acted decisively, but they had not been reckless. Every move had been planned, calculated, and executed perfectly. The galaxy had witnessed the power of humanity, and the message was clear. Humans were unstoppable when they acted with intelligence and skill. As the human fleet moved toward safe zones, they continued to monitor alien movements. Small groups tried to flee or hide, but human ships had predicted every path. Missiles and beams disabled engines and weapons. No ship could escape. John watched quietly. Humans had achieved total control. The remaining enemy was powerless, isolated, and afraid. The human fleet had acted decisively, but now they maintained control without unnecessary destruction. Far across the galaxy, species whispered in fear and respect. Humans were not just fighters. They were strategists, planners, and protectors. Their patience and intelligence had allowed them to destroy a powerful enemy, control the battlefield, and show the galaxy what humans could do. John thought about the world saved, the lives protected, and the lessons taught. Humans acted not for glory, but out of necessity. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now it had learned a valuable lesson. Intelligence, coordination, and patience could be more powerful than any weapon or fleet. Lisa monitored the final alien survivors. They are all contained. They cannot escape or communicate. The galaxy will know humans are different. John nodded. Humans had achieved more than victory. They had shown restraint, control, and intelligence. The galaxy had seen humanity in action, and every species would think twice before acting aggressively. Emma added quietly, "We have total control. Fear is spreading. They cannot understand us. They do not know what we will do next." John smiled slightly. Humans had acted perfectly. The battle was over, but the lessons would last forever. The galaxy had learned to respect humans, not just for their strength, but for their intelligence, coordination, and patience. As the fleet moved toward safety, John spoke quietly. "Remember this. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, precision, and patience. The galaxy will not forget this day." The stars outside shone cold and silent, but humans had carved a path through the chaos. They had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and maintained control without loss. The galaxy had seen the power of humanity, and it would never be underestimated again. Humans were calm, prepared, and unstoppable when necessary. The enemy had been defeated completely, and other species had witnessed it. The balance of power had shifted. The galaxy would remember the day humans entered the war zone, acted perfectly, and showed their true strength. John looked at the stars. thinking of the world saved and the lessons taught. Humans had proven that patience, intelligence, and coordination could overcome any threat. The remaining aliens were isolated and cautious, and the galaxy had learned to respect humanity. Lisa and Emma exchanged quiet smiles. Humans had acted decisively, without panic or recklessness. Every move had been calculated. Every action had shown the power of intelligence and skill. The galaxy had seen humanity in its true form. John spoke one last time before the fleet moved completely out of the war zone. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, patience, and precision. The galaxy will remember this day. The fleet continued its slow movement toward safety, calm and in control. The war zone behind them was silent except for debris and destroyed ships. Humans had acted perfectly, protected the galaxy, and shown their strength without unnecessary destruction. The galaxy would never forget. Humans had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, maintained control, and shown intelligence, coordination, and patience. Fear, respect, and awareness spread across the stars. The human fleet was alive, calm, and ready. The enemy had been neutralized completely. The galaxy had learned the power of humanity. The human fleet moved away from the war zone slowly, its ships shining calmly in the cold black of space. The battle had been over for days, yet the galaxy still trembled at the memory of what humans had done. Entire alien fleets had vanished within hours, and no one had seen humanity act with such precision before. John Carter stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the stars pass by. He did not speak much. He had no need. His officers moved quietly around him, monitoring systems, scanning for any signs of remaining threats, and recording every detail of the war zone they had left behind. Humans were thorough. They did not leave anything to chance. Lisa Grant was at her console, tracking signals from nearby systems. "We are receiving communications from dozens of alien species," she said softly. "They are asking for peace talks, surrender, and alliances. They fear us and they respect us." Emma Brooks, working on the electronic warfare console, nodded. "Even the strongest fleets are silent. They do not dare act. Our sensors show no movement beyond what is expected. Humans control the situation completely." John nodded slowly. Humans did not seek domination. They fought to protect life, to stop destruction, and to show that intelligence and patience could win wars faster than brute force. But the galaxy had learned a new lesson. When humans acted, no enemy could survive. Far away, alien leaders convened in secret. Fear and uncertainty filled the halls. "Humans, they are unlike any species we have seen," one said. "Their numbers are small, yet they destroyed our fleets in hours. Our strongest ships fell as if they were paper. We cannot underestimate them." Another added, "Their coordination is perfect. They anticipate every move. We cannot predict them. The galaxy will have to change how we act because of them." Back in the human fleet, John gave calm orders. "Record every piece of intelligence. Map the systems we have protected. Ensure no enemy fleet can regroup unnoticed. Maintain presence but do not provoke anyone unnecessarily." The officers carried out the orders precisely. Humans did not rush. They did not panic. They acted with intelligence. Lisa reported quietly, "Some alien survivors are trying to contact each other secretly. They have no success. Emma's systems block every attempt. They cannot warn others." "Good," John said. "We act as protectors, not conquerors. We have the advantage, and we maintain it carefully." The humans moved slowly through the war zone, disabling what needed to be disabled and securing areas without unnecessary violence. Small alien ships that had survived tried to flee to distant systems. Human patrols were always ahead of them, cutting off escape routes with precision. Missiles struck engines and weapons without harming the crews unnecessarily. Humans controlled the battlefield completely, showing skill, patience, and restraint. John spoke to his officers quietly. Humans have acted and the galaxy has learned. Our strength is intelligence, coordination, and patience. Never forget that. The enemy will think twice before challenging us again. Lisa nodded. They already do. Reports show fear spreading across multiple species. Every fleet that once mocked humans is now cautious, studying our tactics. Emma added, even if they plan revenge, they will fail. We know them, but they do not know us. We have the advantage and we maintain it. As the fleet continued moving toward safe zones near human territory, John considered the consequences of their actions. Humans had acted decisively, ending a war before it could destroy countless lives. Other species had seen the power of intelligence and coordination over raw numbers. The galaxy would never underestimate humans again. Small alien fleets that tried to attack were neutralized quickly. Human ships struck only what was necessary, avoiding unnecessary casualties. Every move was calculated, every decision precise. The remaining enemy was powerless, isolated, and afraid. Far across the galaxy, whispers spread. Humans act like no one else, one alien said. They are small, yet they destroy fleets and control battlefields. We cannot match their intelligence and patience. Another added, we must respect them, we must change our strategies. Humans are not like other species, they think and act perfectly. Back in the human fleet, John monitored the remaining systems. Ensure no hidden fleets remain, he said. We maintain presence but do not provoke unnecessarily. Humans are protectors. Our strength lies in intelligence and patience, not just firepower. Lisa and Emma worked quietly, monitoring every movement and recording every detail. Humans had achieved total control of the war zone without unnecessary destruction. The enemy had been neutralized, and other species had witnessed the skill, coordination, and patience of humanity. John spoke quietly to his officers. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, coordination, and precision. The galaxy will remember this. Other species will respect humans, not just for their strength, but for their skill and wisdom. The fleet moved steadily toward human space. Reports from distant systems arrived. Alien species had begun to adjust their strategies, wary of challenging humanity. Some sent messages of peace, others of alliance. Fear and respect had replaced arrogance and mockery. Lisa looked at the reports. They are learning. Humans have changed the galaxy. Every species now thinks twice before acting aggressively. John nodded. We have done what was necessary. Now we maintain control. The galaxy has learned the power of intelligence and patience. Emma added, even the strongest fleets that survived are silent. They cannot challenge us. They cannot predict our moves. The advantage is ours and we keep it. Small alien ships tried to hide in asteroid fields or damaged systems, but humans predicted their paths. Engines were disabled, weapons shut down, and communications blocked. No ship could escape. Every move humans made was precise, careful, and effective. John spoke quietly to his officers. The war zone is secure. Our presence shows the galaxy what humans can do. We act not out of conquest, but out of protection. Our skill, patience, and intelligence have won the day. Lisa nodded. Fear and respect are spreading. Other species will not forget what humans can do. Emma added, and even if they plan revenge, they will fail. Humans know the battlefield and they cannot surprise us. The advantage remains ours. As the fleet moved closer to human systems, the galaxy began to settle. Alien species reported that humans acted with precision and control, not reckless aggression. Worlds that had been threatened could rebuild, and alliances began to shift quietly toward humanity. John considered the future. Humans had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, and maintained control. The galaxy had learned to respect humanity. Other species would act carefully, knowing the humans were precise, intelligent, and patient. Lisa and Emma worked quietly, recording every detail, monitoring every movement. Humans did not rush or panic. They moved carefully, maintaining control and ensuring the remaining enemy was powerless. The galaxy had seen the skill, intelligence, and patience of humanity. Small alien fleets that tried to flee were intercepted. Engines, weapons, and communications were disabled. No ship could escape. Humans had achieved total control of the war zone and the remaining enemies were trapped, isolated, and afraid. John spoke quietly to his officers. Remember this day. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, coordination, and patience. The galaxy will respect us, not just for our strength but for our skill, precision, and wisdom. Far away, alien leaders whispered in fear and respect. Humans are not like other species, one said. They predict every move, coordinate perfectly, and act decisively. We cannot match them, another said. We must change everything. Humans are patient, intelligent, and precise. We cannot underestimate them. The galaxy has learned a new lesson. Back in the human fleet, John gave calm orders. Maintain presence, monitor systems, and ensure no threat remains. Humans protect life, but we do not act recklessly. Our advantage lies in intelligence, coordination, and patience. Lisa and Emma nodded, continuing their work. Humans had acted decisively, ending a war before it could destroy countless lives. The remaining enemy was powerless, isolated, and afraid. The galaxy had seen humanity at its best. John spoke quietly one last time. Humans act when necessary. We fight with intelligence, coordination, and precision. The galaxy will never underestimate us again. The fleet moved slowly toward home, calm and in control. Stars shone coldly, but humans had carved a path through the chaos. They had entered the war zone, destroyed a powerful enemy, maintained control, and shown intelligence, patience, and skill. The galaxy had learned the true power of humanity. The remaining alien fleets were silent, trapped, and cautious. Fear and respect spread across the stars. Humans had entered the war zone, acted perfectly, and changed the balance of power. The galaxy would never forget. John looked at the stars and spoke quietly to his officers. The galaxy has seen what humans can do. We act when necessary with intelligence, patience, and coordination. The future belongs to those who plan, predict, and act wisely. Humans have shown that. The galaxy will remember this day forever. Lisa and Emma watched quietly, knowing the humans had proven themselves. Humans had fought decisively, protected the galaxy, and demonstrated skill, patience, and intelligence. Other species would respect them for generations. The fleet moved on, calm, precise, and in control. The war zone behind them was silent except for debris and destroyed ships. Humans had acted perfectly. The galaxy had learned. The power of humanity was clear, unstoppable, and lasting.